Mother, mother, there's too many of you crying. Brother, 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 there's far too many of you dying. You know we've got to find a way to bring some loving.
Good morning and welcome to a Motown Monday on the Earl Ingram Show. As always, you can join us at 855-752-4842. That's 855-752-4842. Hey, good morning to you, Calvin. How you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good, Earl. How are you?
All right. How much of that Super Bowl game did you watch?
You know, to be completely honest with you, I hardly watched any of it at all. How much did you watch?
You're not a football fan.
No, I am. It's just hasn't been holding my attention that much, and I didn't really care about either of the teams.
Yeah, you know, man, it was, the 59th Super Bowl game. So that's 59 years, man. I've seen every one. I saw the first one, and I remember the first one like yesterday, man. It's an amazing reality that this is the 59th, and next year will be the 60th year of the Super Bowls, man. And man, it's just like yesterday. I can blink my eye and takes me back to that first Super Bowl game, man. So, the games aren't super to me. They're there's a lot of pump and vigor, but that's all about money. It's still just a football game, right, Calvin?
Yeah. And
a regular football game, man.
Yeah, and I looked at the score at halftime, and it wasn't that entertaining a one.
No, but the team that I wanted to win won, and so all is right with the world, or maybe. But anyway, it's a Motown Monday, and, we've got a lot to talk about as always. I got a great list lined up for you this week. We're going to have the mayor of the city of Milwaukee. We're going to have the governor of the state of Wisconsin. Reggie Jackson's going to join me several more times, and we're going to have a lot of great conversation this week. And, I want to begin with Calvin. If you play that little tune for me, man.
It's your thing. Do what you want to do. I can't tell you who to sock it to.
All right. So it's your thing today. The phone lines are open. We can talk about whatever you want to talk about the first hour of the show. Yeah, I got stuff I can talk about. But I thought about this, and we've got an audience that really focuses and pays attention to the show and follows us. And I'm sure there are times that there are things that you guys want to talk about that maybe I don't cover or we don't cover. And so here's an opportunity this morning for you, to talk about whatever it is you want to talk about. Now, I got stuff that I'm certainly going to be talking about. I really don't need any help. I can do it myself. But, if there's something that you've been wanting to talk about, whatever the subject matter, now is the time. 855-752-4842. 855-752-4842 is the number. Feel free to call, and we'll get right to you. But in the interim, this subject that I'm getting ready to talk about right now really should make all of us pause, and especially those of you who vote Republican and who have been bamboozled, you've been took, because you believe somehow that these Republicans somehow support you. I'm going to repeat it again. You've been had. You've been bamboozled. You've been took. Tesla paid, now this is Elon Musk, the guy worth $400 billion, who some of you think is all right, that he runs around and decides that he's going to cut government spending, which is a lifeline for so many of you and many people that I know and that you know. And so he's going to cut programs that are the lifeline for so many because they say we can't afford it. Just listen to this. Oh, what a wicked web we weave when we practice to deceive. Musk trillion-dollar company paid nothing in federal taxes. Nothing. In 2024, he paid nothing. How can that be? How is it possible? Don't take my word for it. Look it up. Tesla paid zero federal income tax in 2024, despite reporting $2.3 billion in U.S. income, using legal loopholes to eliminate its tax liability. Now, while you and I are preparing to pay our taxes, little people, the little people can't get away without paying their taxes. The system is set. We pay our taxes. We have no choice because there aren't any loopholes for you and I. But before I get into all of that, as I said, we'll get to It's Your Thing. Do what you want to do this morning in the first hour of the Earl Ingram Show. Let's go right to the phone lines. And Tom from Richland Center. Good morning to you, sir. How are you doing? Thank you very much for the call. You're first up.
Yeah, good morning to you. Good morning to you, Earl. You're playing my song, It's Your Thing. That's what I try to do every day. Our area, rural area, Wisconsin, suffers because we didn't get the Green New Deal and Medicare for All. And what would those do? Those would almost double the local economy. And when you talk about Muskie's people ripping off the cream from the top, leaving everyone standing there holding the bag, the opposite is that people could organize around healthcare, local energy, local industry using local materials, all these things. Agriculture, of course, is a major part of that. Good food. And it's crazy that we can't do that. Well, also at the same time, we lost our college here because the state got on this downsizing thing of wrecking all these communities that had built a $35 million campus that's sitting empty. So I'm going to try to get local people to think about creating that college again, call it a community college, and do it volunteer and come up with every idea we had and study them and research them and get the experts out. And over time, try to reinvigorate that to be a real institution.
Let me
also transform our economy.
Let me ask you, Tom. You're in Richland Center, rural area. What do your neighbors? How are they feeling now? Many of them voted for Donald Trump. How are they feeling that Trump has not even spoken about their issues yet, or are they just not talking about it?
Coffee clutch where I could get that information, or the barbershop or whatever, because it's painful for me to get involved in some of those conversations. But I will tell you that we haven't got any benefits from any of it yet. And we also, by the way, have a Latino community coming in, taking over the milking chores because the kids didn't stay here and didn't want to stay on the farm.
Right.
The population is becoming immigrant, and they're factory farms. They're very huge organizations. They're not the little family farms. And so we have even the demographic issue of deportation and all that. But those are the people that make the milk. Those are the people that actually do the work. And so we're in the midst of this massive change, and I don't think anyone's talking about any of it.
So are they cognizant of the fact that this assault on illegal immigrants is going to cause even more damage. Because again, the children didn't remain in Richland Center. And if those farms are upended and they don't have people to milk the cows, then what is the future of Richland Center?
Well, someone a long time ago decided it was a vacation area or retirement homes for very expensive, generally
Right.
white folks to come out and do their thing out here. And I'm one of the people that came out as the back to the land movement with no money. So I'm at the other end of that scale. But local people, when I came out here, could not buy the land. A young kid growing up in high school getting a local job would not have had the money to buy the land because the land got high. The land is now, I think, 20 times, 30 times more expensive than when we bought it in '89. So this is not a place where a small family farm can go. We used to have 55 dairy farms in our 5 Mile Valley. There's not one left.
So who do you attribute that to? I've always said to, especially rural people, who fail to understand that the people who push corporate farms really are Republicans. And so those corporations have taken over their communities and left nothing in its place, and yet they still vote Republican proudly. And all I can say is that they've been had, they've been took, they've been bamboozled, man. And hopefully, do you think that your neighbors are going to wake up once they realize that Donald Trump hasn't mentioned anything about them and what he's going to do for them? As a matter of fact, many of his policies are certainly going to hurt them even more.
Well, this place voted for Obama. You voted for Trump. You voted for Walker. You voted for the zigzaggy left, right, up, down thing. And so people have real short memories or something. Anyway, Earl, you're the greatest. I don't want to take your hour.
No, Trump. Hey, man, thank you very much, man. I really appreciate it. Thank you. And you are the beginning of It's Your Thing. Do what you want to do this morning on a Motown Monday on the Earl Ingram Show. We'll come right back to the phone lines.
Right on. Right on. Nothing so blue as a heart in pain. Nothing so sad as a tear in vain. Let him walk on out if he wants to. He really doesn't deserve you. His losses are gains, so don't be blue, 'cause stone blind and out of his mind is what he has to be. Yeah, so baby, straighten up, come on and fly right. It's no catastrophe.
All right, welcome back to a Motown Monday on the Earl Ingram Show. As always, you can join us at 855-752-4842. That's 855-752-4842. You know, it's, I was talking about, so many different things over this weekend. And so I wanted to come in and talk about these many different subjects. But then I thought about it. Well, let's give the listeners who really do make the show an opportunity. It may be something they want to talk about. So I decided we're going to do It's Your Thing, or ironically speaking, It's Your Thing, Monday morning today. So let's go back to the phone lines in Charles from Milwaukee. Hey, Charles, it's your thing, man. Do what you want to do.
Hey, good morning, Earl. So we have a segment of people in this country that are just hateful and ignorant. If they don't see what's going on, that these people don't mean them any good, they're not benefiting. Their thing is, well, Donald Trump is sticking it to the liberals or the libtards, as they like to call us. But they're the ones that they're being hurt as well, and they don't even see it. The programs that they're trying to steal money from hurts anybody that's not rich, and that's not, if you're working paycheck to paycheck, then you're using services that they're trying to cut, and they're trying to cut these services so he can justify this humongous tax cut for the rich. That tax cut's not benefiting us. What, you may get some crumbs at the end of the day. You may get a extra $50 or $100. That's nothing compared to what the rich are getting. Elon Musk is out there because he's in trouble with a lot of these agencies. So what better way to get rid of these agencies so they don't come after him?
So Charles, let me read this one paragraph and then I'll let you continue. Today's news. Tesla paid zero federal income tax in 2024, despite reporting $2.3 billion in U.S. income, using legal loopholes to eliminate its tax liability. Over the past 3 years, Tesla has reported $10.8 billion in U.S. income, but paid only $48 million. I will repeat, $10.8 billion in income, but paid only $48 million in federal taxes, bringing its effective tax rate to 0.4%, far below the 21% corporate tax rate. The company avoided taxes through accelerated depreciations, $500 million in savings, executive stock option deductions, $250 million, and unspecified U.S. tax credits, $300 million. Tesla benefited from Trump's 2017 Tax Cuts and Job Act, which cut the corporate tax rate from 35% to 21% and expanded deductions that help corporations reduce taxable income. You and I have to pay our taxes. If we don't pay them by April 15th, they start charging us interest. We're the little people. But yet, and it's not only Tesla that got away with this. How many other major corporations, Charles, do you think got away with it? Yet there are people who support these people. You say what, Charles?
Oh, there are many corporations that are getting away with it. and they will bow down and kiss Trump's butt each and every day, every minute, every second of every hour, to be able to get a tax cut and to be able to garner these, as they call them, loopholes for not paying taxes. You know, Trump said he was smart by not paying taxes. I thought as a kid growing up that that the taxes, the higher tax rate that people paid, helped benefit the cities, the states, the roads, the parks, the things like that. And now it's like people are betting against those, and it's the people that don't have nothing that will benefit from better roads, from better parks, things like that. And so, like I said, Earl, we are out here fighting against our own best interests. We're rooting for the rich to continue to stiff everybody else, while the ones that are barely making it have to fork out all of this money on paying taxes.
Hey, Charles, thank you very much for the call. Republicans are now pushing to cut the corporate tax rate further to 15%, which would allow massive companies like Tesla to pay even less, while potentially raising taxes on lower income Americans. Those are the facts, people. 855-752-4842. Motown Monday on the Earl Ingram Show. It's your thing. Do what you want to do. I can't tell you who to sock it to. All right. 855-752-4842. A Motown Monday on the Earl Ingram Show.
Gotta do is dry your eyes long enough to see that you have got the love you thought you had in him. Here in me, love is home. Girl, love is strength. Here's someone standing right beside you who would go to any lengths to give you love, true and deep, and help you realize at last you find
All right, welcome back to Motown Monday on the Earl Ingram Show. As always, you can join us at 855-752-4842. That's 855-752-4842. You can text us at that same number. It's your thing. Do what you want to do. So let's go right to the phone lines. Let's go to Mike from Kenosha. Good morning to you, Mike. Thank you. It's your thing, man. What do you want to talk about?
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate it. Happy Motown Monday to you. I appreciate it very much. You know, I want to talk about something that is not talked about nearly enough, and that is what good government is and how important, you know, we the peeps' role is in maintaining that position of good government. There's many examples across the globe of functioning governments that people are very happy with overall. But we, unfortunately, in America, we've all been duped. We've been under a great deal of pressure from these anarchists, starting with 1980, saying that government is the problem, not a solution, and they want to shrink it and reduce it. I got to tell you, you know, for a nation to survive, we the people must be able to respond to the crisis at hand. And unfortunately, we have not. The American people have kind of, I don't know,
Given up
a little bit.
Given up.
Yeah, and I'm one of them. I've been fighting that demon now since the election because it's so insane. But the topic or the fact I want to talk about is the pie, the economic pie that we're now fighting over is healthy. It's vibrant. It's doing very well here in America. Unfortunately, the pieces of the pie are so distorted that the elites and the corporations who are funding our elections and absolutely writing the legislation, they're, you know, coming out way on top. And, you know, it seems like Americans have forgotten what civics is. So I'm asking Americans to maybe look a little bit back in the history, maybe read a book about civics for dummies or something, because we have lost our way. We've punted to the job creators and the trickle-down groups, if you will, the pay-to-play groups, and we think that they're going to carve out a way future for the American people, for the middle class, and it doesn't make sense. It's not going to happen. So the challenge to me is real. It's the people must understand that the $50 trillion shift from the middle class into the upper elites that has happened since 1980, that money now is being removed out of our local economy, and it's being hoarded in offshore banks and in other areas. It's not working. It doesn't work. It could very well work if we recognize and buy into regional capitalism and local capitalism. But no, we're stuck on this global thing that is not sustainable. So again, to finish the call, this is all about we the people. Paying attention, getting our big boy and big girl pants on, if you will, and going after the pie and our piece of the pie, and where the percentages of tax and everything were when our economy was, doing very well, and we didn't have all these bailouts and all these
Hey, Mike.
Quantitative easing gimmicks.
Hey, Mike,
Yeah.
I agree with you totally. Thank you very much for the call. Here's a prime example. Elon Musk is worth over $400 billion. He benefits from a system that allows billionaires and corporations to pay far less taxes than working class Americans, with Tesla's 3-year tax rate of 0.4% compared to the average person, like the people on these phone lines and the people who are listening, who pays 13.3% average federal income tax rate paid by workers. Let's go to Brendan from New Jersey. Good morning to you, Brendan. You say what?
Well, I say one, and for the last time, thank you, Eagles, being a 49ers fan.
Yeah, I agree.
And So I guess we can put the whole KC getting the calls thing aside. But my thing is I don't know why people are not more aghast at what they see Elon Musk doing. This guy wasn't voted in. He doesn't have a security clearance. And the fact that the Supreme Court just told this knucklehead that he had immunity of what he did while he was president, that's how he's operating. Everybody needs to wake up and realize that. You know, a lot of your MAGA friends are like the same, you know, if you were in a group of guys, you always had that one guy that kept going back to the bad girl. You know, she was going to break his heart again. You guys were all going to be sitting around consoling him. And that's the way a lot of MAGA voters are. And I get it. I mean, they wanted the help that he was offering. They wanted him to do the things he said he was going to do. But he hasn't, folks. He hasn't done it, and he don't plan on doing it. So don't go back to that bad girl again, please. Please let us impeach him and get him the hell out of there, and let's get a neutral person in there. Let's get rid of all this woke and grooming and all this other stuff. It's not about trans kids. It's not about who's in the bathroom. This guy's ripping us off. Wake up.
Well said, Brendan. Thank you very much for the call. I keep talking about just Tesla and the information that I've given you about Tesla, but you can look at all these other major corporations. Same thing is true. Let's go to Tom from LA. Good morning to you, Tom. You say what?
Well, Earl, I think everyone needs to read the story of Jack and the Beanstalk again, like they did when they were a child. My sister wrote the following thing, and I thought it was very good. I wanted to share with the audience. Everyone's looking for the magic pill to make them feel better. They want instant relief. That's why people take drugs. Instant gratification. That was Trump's message. Day one, I'll fix it all. That's why he's trying to do it all quickly and tear down government, because people don't want to wait and have a thoughtful process like we did under Joe Biden. They want their fix, and they want it now. Trump was the drug, and they voted for it. And just like the family and loved ones of drug users, they too suffer the consequences of that decision. I would say not only drugs, but also attention deficit disorder. It is a global or United States thing, because everything we do is instant gratification. So when you have Joe Biden, who was doing things methodically and gaining ground, but then gotten, I'm going to say a bad word, I won't. You have someone like Trump or Felon 47 that says, I'll fix it all on day one. People fell for it, just like they fell for, Jack and the Beanstalk. Here's 3 magic beans it will save you. People don't realize when you're doing, different workout routines like you have been doing, and you become Benjamin Button, you're aging backwards. That's not something that was just easy, Earl. It's something that takes work, and it's a process.
So Tom, I just read some information about just Elon Musk and Tesla that should outrage people. And this man who's paying no taxes is now in control and in charge of, and is getting ready to get a bigger tax break. And yet he's in charge of cutting the programs. And I don't care, if you love Donald Trump, but he's about to cut this lifeline for people. And then when you know the backstory, as I've just read about what's happened with Elon Musk paying no taxes at all, I don't care. If you're a person who voted for Donald Trump, you should then now look and see that you've been had. Okay? And you should be outraged. You shouldn't double down on it.
Call up and say, good for him. He did the American dream. He didn't make it. He got corporate welfare. He's getting no tax breaks. How does that make him an honorable person versus, I'll just say it, someone like a Gary or Dave, who run their own mom and pop small business? Why is it that they want to put this guy up on a pedestal. You're never going to be him. You're never going to get the government contracts and the corporate welfare that Elon Musk gets. You'll never make that much money.
Hey, Tom, thank you very much for the call. I appreciate it. Let's go to Sherry from Horicon. Good morning to you, Sherry. Thank you very much for the call. It's your thing. Do what you want to do.
Oh, Earl, I love you.
Likewise. Thank you.
I'm having such a hard time with my son. He's 27 now and a total Trump lover and supporter. And yesterday we, I would say, discussed for 2 hours last night that if all women were like me, women should not have a voice.
Right.
And that he's hoping for Trump, and then after Trump is done, then will be
J.D. Vance.
Musk, and then will be J.D. Vance. And it's like, oh my God. And I'm on Medicaid and food share, and I am scared.
Yeah,
I'm scared.
you know, Sherry, you have every right to be afraid. And that's the whole point of this. You know, what they are doing is coming after people on Medicaid, you know, food share. And they're saying we can't afford to do that. We can't afford to keep you on Medicare. We can't afford to keep you on food share. I've got a guy coming on in the 9 o'clock hour who is the CEO of the Hunger Task Force as they move around the state, bringing food to people in food deserts. And yet, they say we can't do it because the major corporations like Elon Musk aren't paying anything. I mean, that's, you know, to me, that should be criminal. That we allow major corporations to pay no money, and then the average American citizen who struggles, you know, we can't afford to support them, so we're going to cut them off. That certainly is not my country. 'Tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my father died, land of the pilgrim side, of thee I sing. Come on. You know, I mean, they've done away with all of that, Sherry.
I know. It just is not right. And it just makes me so upset. I have a plaque on my wall about when my grandma went through Ellis Island, and, you know, from Italy. And it's like, we wouldn't be here now because of Trump.
Hey, Sherry, I wish we had more time. Thank you very much for the call. It's your thing. Do what you want to do on a Motown Monday on the Earl Ingram Show. One more segment.
To cherish and care for you. Tears
All right, welcome back to Motown Monday on the Earl Ingram Show. As always, you can join us at 855-752-4842. That's 855-752-4842 is the number. It's your thing. Do what you want to do this morning. I decided this morning as I was, traversing all the different outlets that I do every morning, there was a lot of news out, but I certainly wanted to at least give the audience an opportunity to talk about what they wanted to talk about. And before I go back to the phone lines, a robber baron. I remember reading about robber barons when I was a young man in school. And so let me tell you what a robber baron is. A robber baron is a term used to describe a powerful 19th century American industrialist who amassed great wealth through unethical business practices like creating monopolies, exploiting workers, and manipulating markets, often by using corrupt political influence to gain advantage over competitors. Essentially, someone who became rich through exploitive means, similar to a robber taking wealth by force, hence the name. Key points about robber barons, primarily associated with the late 19th century known as the Gilded Age, forming trusts, manipulating stock prices, suppressing competition, paying low wages, and using dangerous working conditions. Industries, prominent robber barons often controlled industries like railroad, oil, steel, and banking, and on and on and on. Nothing different about that today. Let's go to Gary from Sussex. Good morning to you, Gary. You say what?
Well, Earl, I tell you something once. So the last 8 years, I really enjoy listening to you. So it's my thing today. I'm going to just tell you, I'm going to give you a great big gigantic thumbs up on your show. I love your show. I love listening to you guys, you and Sandy together. You're pretty much respectful to me. I would appreciate the fact that maybe you let me, after you make a comment, that let me finish what I was going to say. And,
if it's along the lines of the conversation, then yeah.
Yeah.
But
okay.
thank you. Go ahead. What do you want to say, man? What do you want to say?
That's it. I want to appreciate the fact that you're on the air. I love listening to you. You're very interesting. You're very smart. And I just appreciate you letting conservatives go on the air.
Hey, Gary, man, thank you very much for that. I really appreciate that. Let's go to Susan from Kenosha. Good morning to you, Susan. It's your thing. Do what you want to do.
My thing? Okay, my thing is this Republican agenda has been going on since the 1980s, and no one listened. No one looked. And now what we have is a situation where we are going to lose our Constitution and our democracy. And as far as racism has been alive and well since I can't remember when. And now they're using it as a tool to separate everybody. But I will not separate from people like you or anyone else who believes in democracy and freedom. What the Republicans want to do is to have a class of upper-class oligarchs who will run the country, and the rest of us will be their paid slaves. And if you want a really good look at what United States is going to turn out to, they should look at Russia and how they deal with people and to people who fight back. And you should read the book of Alexei Navalny and how they murdered that poor man. And that is exactly what we are staring at right now, unless we turn ourselves around. And I don't like to be mad. I really don't. I'm trying to be a nice lady. But I want to save this country for my children and my children's children, because at one time this was a good country. And we were going in the right direction. But now we're going backwards. And I hate it, and I get mad
Susan,
when I think about it. And that's all I have to say.
Well, thank you very much, as always. Let's go to Mary from Tulsa. Good morning to you, Mary. You say what? It's your thing.
Morning, Earl. Thank you for this. So I'd like to just share how I get through my days in these chaotic times when democracy is literally under attack, because I think that balance is possible and we can get it back. So what I do is I search for and I support best I can the knowledgeable and committed pro-democracy advocates that are out there fighting every day. And I'd put civic media in the forefront, along with the federal judges and the governors and the attorneys, and throw in ACLU, Public Citizen, Wisconsin Citizen Action, Wisconsin Democracy Campaign, and all of the environmental organizations that are working to protect the planet. And, and then every day I'm minding my own self-care to keep myself and my spirit up there. And these things, self-care helps to provide a distraction from all of the negativity. So, again, balance is where I'm at, and I wish everyone well.
Hey, Mary, thank you very much, as always. Really appreciate those always kind words. Up next, Matt King, CEO, Hunger Task Force of Milwaukee, on a Motown Monday on the Earl Ingram Show.
and the risk of knowing that our love may soon be gone. We can work it out. We can work it out. Think of what you're saying. You can get it wrong and still think that it's alright. Think of what I'm saying. We can work it out and get it straight or say goodnight. We can work it out. We can work it out.
All right, welcome back to a Motown Monday on the Earl Ingram Show. As always, you can join us at 855-752-4842. That's 855-752-4842. You can text us at that same number. And as promised, I am joined by Mr. Matt King, CEO of Hunger Task Force. Good morning to you, sir. How are you doing?
Hey, good morning, Earl. Thanks for having me. I'm doing a lot better now that I got a little Stevie Wonder in. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, I have a great relationship with the Hunger Task Force going back many, many years. I forgot this former CEO's.
Yeah, how many?
Huh?
Yeah.
Her name.
Sherry Tussler.
Sherry Tussler. So Sherry Tussler, and at a different time in my life, and when she was, really starting to build, she did a tremendous job with Hunger Task Force and committed her life to it. And if you look at it now, it's amazing what one person's vision can really, when it becomes a reality. And that's kind of what Hunger Task Force is today. 50 years, right?
Yeah, 50 years. Hunger Task Force was founded in 1974. It was actually founded by a group of local teachers, concerned citizens, parents in particular, who really got together and started organizing around the issue of the lack of school meals in the city of Milwaukee. And they were seeing the effects, of hunger and malnutrition on, in particular, kids' ability to learn and to thrive and be successful. And so they got together and organized the first school breakfast programs in Milwaukee. And so that history goes back 50 years. But as you said, Sherry, for 27 of those years up until last year, was the head of it. And to your point, seeing what one person's dedication and then multiplied by the support of the community can really do.
I have, when you guys first moved to where you are now and where you were before, and just seeing the massive size of the facility that you're at now really is, I don't know if I can say it's a testament or testimony, or if it really is a condemnation that the wealthiest nation on earth has to have what the Hunger Task Force is doing. Let's talk a little bit about what the Hunger Task Force does first, sir.
Yeah, so Hunger Task Force, in addition to that focus on childhood hunger that I mentioned, we also operate a network of food pantries, meal sites, and shelters across the city of Milwaukee. We have a statewide association of now over 200 organizations that are all in the work of hunger relief and who are serving their communities. So in addition to serving Milwaukee, we now are across the state of Wisconsin and working with independent organizations that serve not only urban but rural communities as well.
If you're just joining us, my guest is Matt King. He is the CEO of Hunger Task Force. Sir, it is still, mind-boggling to me that a nation with a burgeoning economy, you always hear people say, we've got the greatest economy in the entire world. But yet there are people who are hungry in it. There are people who don't believe, Matt, that there are people who are hungry in this economy.
Yeah. Well, I think what we've all experienced, over the last 5 years in particular, of rising costs, has really had an effect on this issue. And so when we have seniors in our community who are living on a fixed income, but the price of everything around them is going up, they end up having to make tough decisions. And they're making decisions about affording their medicine, and keeping a roof over their heads. And so a lot of the time, this is how hunger surfaces in our community, is parents making the decision to skip meals so that their children can be fed, or families having to skip meals because they're going to keep the roof over their head first. So it may look different in the United States, but the reality is that for many who are living in poverty or living just on the edge of poverty, they're one emergency away, one medical emergency, a medical bill, one car repair away from this kind of food insecurity. And so that is also why in the United States we have the ability to create this safety net. And so the safety net is there to catch people when they fall. And that's the kind of, yeah, go ahead.
Well, Matt, it is telling that the two demographics that are hurt the most in this are the youngest and the elders who need this the most. It says something that we don't look out for our future or our past. And so if it wasn't for, the Hunger Task Force and all the people who volunteer for you to make it happen, and even the people who make the donations, we're looking now, Matt, at a time when there's talk about cutting the social safety net, meaning probably even cuts coming to your program. What are your thoughts on that?
Right. Yeah, it's very concerning. We know that in the next month, as we head towards a budget reconciliation, there have already been some early proposals that will cut the SNAP program, also known as food share in Wisconsin, or food stamps historically. And what we saw during the pandemic, when this program was funded, we actually had record low visits to our food pantry network. And that's because people had the ability to go to the store and to buy the foods that are appropriate for their family. And that's the most dignified way for people to access food, is with money from their jobs and at the grocery store, so they can pick the foods that are healthy and even culturally relevant and comfortable for their family. We saw that during the pandemic when this was funded, and food pantry traffic went down. But cuts to SNAP would be devastating. And the other one is school meals. There are some early proposals that will make it more difficult for families to enroll in school meals, will make it more difficult for schools to provide meals. And we anticipate that if any of those go through, we are going to see a real pinch on families, and families with children in particular.
If you're just joining us, my guest is Mr. Matt King. He's the CEO of the Hunger Task Force, and we're going to get into the mobile market that you provide. But before we go there, I just want people to try to wrap their minds around the fact that we throw away more food. With the amount of food that we throw away in this nation, we could feed the world. And yet, in order to keep the prices artificially high, we throw away food. And so the people who struggle the most amongst us go hungry. And if it wasn't for organizations like Hunger Task Force, let's talk now. And our phone line's open as always at 855-752-4842. let's talk about, the mobile market, what that is, and when it came about, and how many different markets you provide.
Great. Yeah, so the mobile market is essentially a grocery store on wheels that travels through Milwaukee County. It visits neighborhoods and communities that have limited access to fresh and healthy foods. And so some people refer to that as like a food desert. Food deserts are basically neighborhoods that have limited access to affordable food. Typically, a food desert is characterized by a significant portion of the population being low income, living below the poverty line, and having limited transportation. So many different ways to measure that, whether it's the distance to a market, an income threshold, or how you define healthy and affordable food. But the key thing to think about is reasonable access to healthy and affordable food.
The short-sightedness of those who, don't agree or don't believe in this program, because if you don't have healthy children, guess what? You're not going to have healthy adults, right? And
Yeah, well, that's right.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, that's absolutely right, Earl. I mean, this is a public health issue. Access to healthy food is a determinant of health, and residents who live in food deserts often have nutritional deficiencies, and that increases their risk of things like diabetes, cardiovascular disease, other health issues.
Which long term really exasperates and puts stress on the health industry. Hang on, Matt. 855-752-4842. My guest is Mr. Matt King. He's the CEO of the Hunger Task Force of Milwaukee. You can join us at 855-752-4842. And I want to talk a little bit about the same issues existing in rural America. All right, welcome back to a Motown Monday on the Earl Ingram Show. As always, you can join us at 855-752-4842. My guest is Mr. Matt King. He's the CEO of the Hunger Task Force. So Matt, how do people know, where the trucks are going to be and what is the process?
Yeah, so best place for people to go if they would like to visit the mobile market is to go to hungertaskforce.org. They can also give us a call, 414-777-0483. But hungertaskforce.org has a list of all the current spaces where they can go to visit the mobile market. The mobile market is, as we talked about, basically a grocery store on wheels. We partner with Piggly Wiggly, and so we make sure that it's stocked with dairy,
fresh fruits and
meat,
vegetables.
All fresh. That's right. All fresh and all discounted. So what we do is leverage the partnership with Piggly Wiggly as well as donor donations and grants to help make the price lower so that it truly is affordable access to healthy food.
Meats as well.
And meats as well. That's right. That's right. And and then we also really we just listen to people in the neighborhood to talk to them about what they'd like to see on the market. As an example, we have a stop that's in a predominantly Muslim community, and so there was a request for halal meats, and we were able to accommodate that request and provide some halal meats as well.
So how many vehicles do you have?
So right now, it's actually one vehicle, Earl, but it makes multiple stops a day. So at this point, we have 35 stops throughout the month, and the discount right now is 25%. So it's 25% off of the store.
So is it through Milwaukee County, or what is the logistics?
The 35. Yeah, the 35 stops right now are all throughout Milwaukee County.
Wow. So what is the process? What do you have to provide something to show that you are in need before you can, participate in this?
No, the mobile market is open to anyone to shop at. There's a 25% discount. People are also able to use their food share benefits or their SNAP resources inside the market as well.
I've seen the market. I've seen it's a huge semi-trailer, and really the wrap that you have on it, nobody can mistake what actually is happening with it, right?
Yeah. It's definitely easy to spot. One of the things that we do is we really focus on senior housing, and for local seniors, oftentimes transportation is a huge barrier to accessing healthy food, and they also oftentimes are dealing with limited mobility or disabilities. And so we will pull the mobile market right up outside of a senior housing facility. And so the seniors can just come downstairs and do their shopping.
Matt, if nothing else, I'm so thankful to have had you on this morning. We're going to have to do it again because what you bring is factual information to many people who have been misled to believe that there aren't people struggling and hungry in this nation, and that people are hungry because they want to be. That conception is out there, right?
Yeah, no one chooses to be hungry, Earl.
No, they really don't. And again, the wealthiest nation on earth, we should have no problem feeding the people of this nation. And really, in many instances, we can feed people of the world. And so it is always great to know that there's an organization like yours that does the work that it does. And so if somebody wants to volunteer for Hunger Task Force, what's the process, sir?
Yeah, we rely upon the support of the community and volunteers in particular. We host 15,000 volunteers on an annual basis, so we literally could not do what we do without the help of volunteers. People can sign up on hungertaskforce.org. You'll find a volunteer tab front and center, and we really appreciate the support of the community.
Well, I want to thank you, sir. It's been a pleasure, a privilege, and an honor to have you over these airways. You've reached people from across this state, and I'm sure if people have questions, what's the number they can call, and what's the site?
Yeah, they can go to hungertaskforce.org or 414-777-0483. Thanks for having me, Earl.
Well, we got to do it again. I'll make sure we reach out to you.
Let's do it again.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much for the hard work, and tell everybody at the Hunger Task Force we support them 100%. Civic Media. Thank you. All right. 855-752-4842. It's your thing. Do what you want to do. I got some other stuff I want to talk about, but it's still your thing. We can talk about whatever it is you want to talk about on the Motown Monday on the Earl Ingram Show.
Cowboys and girls. I remember when I used to play shoot 'em up, bang, bang, baby. I remember when I chased the girls and beat 'em up. But I was young and didn't understand. But now I'm a grown-up man. I know girls are made for kissing. Never knew what I was missing. All right, welcome back to a Motown Monday on the Earl Ingram Show. As always, you can join us at 855-752-4842. That's 855-752-4842. You know, I was wrestling with some things over the weekend as I was listening to all of these things that are taking place in this nation. And, knowing the history of our nation and knowing where our nation is positioned and that we like to always be in front of the world, and we want to make sure that we have a prominent role in it. And so I don't know how you want to lead in things and you don't place humanity first. So here's the definition of humanity. Humanity is the human race, which includes everyone on earth. It's also a word for the qualities that make us human, such as the ability to love and have compassion, be creative, and not be a robot or alien. The word humanity is from the Latin humanitas, for human nature, kindness. Humanity includes all the humans, but it can also refer to the kind of feelings humans often have for each other. But when you talk about humanity, you could just be talking about people as a whole. When people do bad things, it tests your faith in humanity. When people ask for money to help feed starving children, they're appealing to your sense of humanity. Now, I choose to live my life from the perspective of being a part of humanity first. Not that I'm an American, but that I'm a human being first. And all the other nationalities come after that. And so if I'm living from the perspective of humanity first, I feel the pain of my brother. I feel the pain of my sister. Humans. That doesn't matter what language they speak. That doesn't matter what the color of their skin. That doesn't matter their national origin or their religious affiliation. It means all of those people are part of humanity. Why is that such a foreign reality for so many people in this country? I will never understand it. And at 70 years of life, I'll go to my grave and people won't understand the importance of humanity. We run from the definition of that. We act as though that's a foreign word. That's an angry word. You know why? Because we're better than other human beings. We in our souls and in our spirits in this nation have been led to believe that we are better than somebody else. When the truth of the matter is you're not. It's only in your mind. You cannot be better than another human being. For we got here the same way and we're going to leave the same way. So all of that stuff, I got all this money, I got all this wealth. What is it?
when your whole life is focused on gaining those things and missing out on what this life is really about? Let me do this before I go to the phone lines. What can U.S. foreign aid accomplish? Let Fred Burkle explain. Now, we pulled out of the World Health Organization because people say we can't afford it. These are the human beings. You don't get to pick what nation you're born in, right? And so because of the luck of the draw, you're born in a third world nation. Does that mean that as a human being, you shouldn't have the same thing that other human beings have as it relates to being able to live a healthy life on this planet? Since we're only here for a short period of time, 855-752-4842. If I'm in error, 855-752-4842. I'd like to hear your side of the story. But I know I'm not in error because I know that I'm a human being. First, I'm an American. Second, I'm a Black American. Third, but I'm a human being first. So one of Donald Trump's first vengeful acts in his second term as president was to withdraw the U.S. from the World Health Organization, as we've all heard over the last week or so. The first government agency he and Elon Musk have sought to destroy is the U.S. Agency for International Development, better known as USAID. Both organizations are crucial for sustaining global public health. They save millions of lives every year and doing significant work to prevent further collapse into global chaos. Less than 0.5% of our budget goes to that. Strong men like Vladimir Putin and Xi Jinping praised the destruction of USAID, as did the leaders of Iran's theocracy. Motivated primarily by USAID's work to promote democracy. In fact, democracy and public health are intimately related. As I've written before, and the autocrats who serve personality disorders and particularly damaging to public health and human rights, as described in 2019 paper by Dr. Frederick Burkle, who has worked with both the World Health Organization and USAID at high levels to prevent babies from dying. Babies born into the world, not being able to know anything. Human beings, not animals. We care more about animals than we do about human beings in this nation. It's just a fact. Humanity, what is it? Let's go to Brendan from New Jersey. Good morning to you, Brendan. How you doing, man?
Yeah, well, speaking of humans, a bunch of humans are getting kicked out of the Pentagon News Group and NBC and a couple of other, regular news outlets to be replaced with Bartlett and some other OAN and Newsmax. So, folks, he's creating the state TV network for you out there. Hope you like it. Hope all the my dumbbell friends, that voted for him, like state TV because that's what he's building. And as far as humanity goes, could you imagine what a guy like Elon Musk could do in this country if he actually had some empathy and had some charity?
He could feed the world, man. He could feed the world. He could save the world. But he has no human core. He has no human core. So what does it gain a man to have and control the world and then have no spirit or no soul? because the $400 billion that he has won't keep him here 1 second longer than for when his time comes. He can't use his wealth to say when his time comes, when the Grim Reaper knocks on his door, and the Grim Reaper will knock on his door like he does on every human's door, because we all have a time, including Elon Musk. So Brendan, my thing is, he's blinded. He can't see. I talked about the robber barons earlier. He's an extension of the robber barons. And so he lives his life as if, he created himself and that it doesn't have an end date.
I just wonder what is going down. The country's become so quick with our disasters. I think about the people in North Carolina and Florida that are still trying to recover from storms of months ago that we've already forgotten about. I sure hope people are still giving canned food and clothes and whatever they can give. I know they were building a lot of small homes for these folks down there. They were prefabs that just popped right up. They were really nice. They had a bathroom, a kitchen in them, a little living area. Gosh, if we could do that for some of our homeless vets and just put them in the right areas, that would be the greatest thing in the world.
Hey, Brendan, a man worth $400 billion could do it himself for pocket change. Do you hear me? That man, if he had any human qualities, he could do that himself. But he doesn't possess any human qualities. It's his greed, man, and you put him along with another greedy man. And then we head down the path that we're heading. Thank you very much for the call, Brendan. I will say to you all, with the church on every corner, a mosque, a synagogue, a temple in our nation, and even all over the world. What is humanity? I don't. The number one topic is humanity. And so much as you have not done this unto the least of these my people, you have not also done this unto me. Humanity. That's got to be first. Everything else is second. Never laugh at the man lying on the street, for his shoes just may fit your feet. There's lessons to be learned in all of that if we're willing to listen. And, what was that? We are the world. We are the children. We are the one to make the world a better place, so let's start giving. Hey, that's real. 855. And we can make it happen. 752-4842. You're tuned into a Motown Monday on the Earl Ingram Show. Okay. How will the most recent attacks on federal programs affect every American here in Wisconsin? We'll discuss with Sandy Williams coming up on the next show. Let's do it again. How will the most recent attacks on federal programs affect everyday Americans here in Wisconsin? We'll discuss with Sandy Williams coming up on the next show.
We're not away from you, boy.
All right, welcome back to what unfortunately is the last few minutes of a Motown Monday on the Earl Ingram Show. As always, you can join us at 855-752-4842. Let's go right to the phone lines. Bill from O'Connor. Bill, so why is it so hard for human beings? You know, we're only on this planet, and in the twinkling of an eye, we're gone. And so why is it so hard for us to understand why we are here, our purpose, and the difference we can make in the lives of other human beings? Sometimes it's only a kind word, right?
Right. So we have a part of our populace that can't comprehend the word humanitarianism. And if they could, we wouldn't have to be worried about where they're headed. But so many can't. So the next time Gary calls in or CJ, just ask them their definition of humanitarianism. Because I run these leadership groups, Christian leadership. That's a very big word in the divine world, humanitarianism. It means we think of somebody else. We take care of our brothers and sisters. And if we aren't in a position, if we really can't, if we've got nothing to offer, then reach up and we'll help you too.
Well,
but that's what humanitarianism has to be.
Well, let me say, Bill, we're always in a position to help somebody else because it's not monetary. Sometimes it's just a kind word. A person who's headed, it's such a cruel and unforgiving world, and people are broken. And sometimes all it takes is to see a person who is struggling, and man, a pat on the back. Hey, man, it's going to be all right. It doesn't take money. It doesn't take things. The essence of who we are is not money. It's not things, right? I mean, the recesses of what's in you, in your heart, it gives us all the ability to care and feel, and the essence of who we are is in our hearts, is not in any of the other things.
Absolutely, Earl. I love to use the phrase when I run into somebody who's got it rough, I'm going to say a prayer for you. And if I can, I'm going to check back and see how you're doing. That alone lifts so many people up to know that somebody out there is caring for them, wants them to end up in a better place. And like you said, it isn't monetary. It's just the act of showing you care about somebody. When people believe you care, you're headed, I think, on the right direction.
And we have a charge as human beings to uplift our brothers, right? And so uplifting our brothers and sisters mean all of us, humans, not Americans, but human beings. Man, we got to do a better job. And sometimes I know, Bill, this is tough medicine. I'm not saying it to make anybody feel bad. I hope that what I'm attempting to do is to enlighten some people, Bill. That's my whole purpose.
Absolutely, Earl. The more people we help, and I mean this to the people who doubt me, try it. You'll like it. You'll get what you receive back is such a feeling, like working with God Touch Milwaukee and groups like that. Those guys make you realize how blessed you are. So try it, people. You'll have a better day.
Bill, I feel like the wealthiest man on earth. Every morning I get a chance to get up, and I wake up every morning. I don't wake myself up, but when I'm given the blessing of waking up, my goal from the time I wake up until the time I lay my head back down is to make a difference in the lives of other human beings. And I'll tell you something, money can't buy it. You could give me Elon Musk money, and it wouldn't make me feel any richer than I am for being a servant. And all of us have the ability to do that, man.
Well, Earl, you do a wonderful job in what you do, and I can say as your friend on the air, I know you're getting her done. I know you are.
Hey, Bill, thank you very much for the call. I really appreciate it. So thank everybody who made the show go. I really appreciate it. Could not do it without you. Just keep listening, because I'm going to be joined this week by the Governor Tony Evers, and also the mayor of the city of Milwaukee, Cavalier Johnson, in addition to many others. Tell somebody about this show, because we can't move forward until we tell somebody else. I love you guys listening, but tell somebody else about the Earl Ingram Show. 855-752-4842. Up next, James Madnair, Greg Bach, Madnair on air. See you guys. Thank you, Calvin. See you guys on tomorrow.
Maybe tomorrow.